Hi there and welcome back to Japan and to our reaction and review to CY8ER's Rat City. Now, as always, if you want to see the reaction, this is the review video, so the reaction you can see by pausing this, clicking the link in the description below, which will open up a separate little YouTube video player where you can watch the reaction with me now if you want to see the song or if you just want to see my reaction. If not, don't pause it and I'll give you the review now. You ready? Here comes the review, here comes the review. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, so this actually, I was really pleased about this. Like I said, the first song we heard was one which was produced by Nakata Yasutaka, and it was very much of his sound. Like I say, I like the fact that he has a very definite sound that manages to keep almost all of his songs sounding quite individual. And so I enjoyed it. However, it was hard to not view it through the lens of being one of his songs. And as I said at the time, it kind of sounded like Kyari Pami Pami multiplied, like multiple Kyari Pami Pamis, multiple KPPs. So in a way, it was a really good song, and I liked it, but you couldn't help but see it more as one of his songs than maybe a reflection of these guys as an artist. So hearing this, really interesting. Again, I can see why they worked with him, because they have, I mean, the video looked like a sort of, it had the sort of neon quality of a perfume video, and it had the crazy, weird, cheap 3D visual madness of a KPP video. But beyond just the visuals, the whole sound of the song was kind of playful. It had lots of playful little synthesizers and strange little sounds, like the little riff, the thing that was done in a very sort of strange sort of sound font, very strange tone keyboard sound that was very much of the sort of ilk where you could expect that from someone like Nakata Yasutaka. Now, I'm assuming this was not produced by him because it didn't mention his name like the other one did, so I'm assuming this is a separate producer, maybe one of their in-house producers or someone else of note. However, you know, it had its own identity, and yet it sounded, like I say, like something that you can imagine being the work of someone who should collaborate with Mr. Nakata. Anyway, that being said, if we move on to the song on its own merits then, so moving that one side, just looking at its own fresh thing, I really liked when it came in with that sort of like shamisen sound. And that was beautifully delivered. It gave it a really interesting tone before that turned into then the synth riff. And when the synth came in, it was nice, beautifully produced, you know, really thick and full, and supported by a really heavy kick drum and a really heavy beat. But the beat was off kilter. It was kind of a trippy beat, and that was beautiful. It was a great way to start it because it immediately made it engaging. Because immediately you're sort of moving with this really strange beat, and it sucks you in, it draws you into the song, it makes you think, oh, where's this going? As well as being engaging, and you know, so many of these types of songs just go for a 4 on the floor style beat, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So hearing it with the kick drums off of that, yeah, that sort of more trippy beat makes it really engaging and interesting, just for being something different, whilst also being in that slightly clubby pop tone, but also, you know, not just going for the normal basic dance beat. That's sometimes enough to make it interesting. However, they really played to their strengths with that. The riff worked really well for bringing the most out of that beat. The vocal delivery in the verse was nice, rhythmic, you know, just everything was getting the most out of that beat. It wasn't just there for colouring, it was really integral to the song. The whole song felt like it was built up from that trippy beat. And then it sort of moved into the chorus, like I say. Well, before I get to the chorus, I mean, what made that interesting though is then in the second verse they went for more of a traditional style beat, but it then felt interesting as contrast to the first, and it felt like it had now sort of hit more of a steady thumping pace, which felt like progression in the song. So it was interesting that, you know, there was that kind of attention to detail where they weren't just repeating things. And the same can be said of the pre-chorus. The first pre-chorus felt like a big sort of build up, whereas the second one, it really sort of broke down, everything fell away. So, you know, there was interesting attempts to keep it interesting, things that we usually equate, maybe falsely, but to a degree more obviously, with a lot of Japanese often self-writing rock bands. You know, we talk about things like Bandmaid's always the prime example. They will always make sure their second verse is significantly different to the first in any opportunity they can, you know, to do that. So hearing something like this in pop, where it's very clearly identifiable, that very Japanese intrinsic writing quality of making the verses notably different, was really kind of lovingly adhered to here. That was kind of nice. And then obviously we have the chorus. The chorus, like I say, it's fast and it gets stuck in your head to a certain degree. I wouldn't really say that there was anything melodically interesting enough about it to make it particularly memorable, which is a shame. I felt like I wanted the chorus to be more memorable because it felt like the song really had built up so well that it deserved it. However, it wasn't bad either. It was kind of, it was neither bad nor particularly memorable. It was just kind of like, oh, it's a decent little chorus, and it certainly had the right feel. It was fun, it was twee, it was bouncy, it was a bit different. Like I say, those sort of rapid-fire vocal choruses are relatively rare. As is often the case, if you want a catchy chorus, it's usually better to sing in a slower, clearer way, not necessarily slow, but in a way which anyone can sing along to it. This is not exactly, this comes across more like a tongue twister than an easy to sing along style catchy chorus. However, you know, it does its job. It is interesting enough to be memorable in a way, but not in a catchy way, which perhaps works against the song. However, I come out of this feeling, like I say, not that the chorus was not a disappointment, and given the intensity of the build-up, just how good the build-up of the song was up to the first chorus, for it to not come out sounding like a disappointment is, I guess, an achievement in of itself. But like I say, I have to mediate that by saying, yeah, basically that. It was good enough to pay off the song with a nice sort of big dramatic hook, but not really special enough to be memorable in its own right. So overall, this song, I love the production, I love the way it was done. It had a real sort of fun twee pop quality, while still being intact, you know, sort of impactful and powerful, but also kind of being fun and a little bit cheeky at the same time. It had some great ideas. I like the vocal performances. Like I say, I really thought that, again, they sing in that sort of fairly lighter, high-register pop style, but their voices had individuality. You could tell each singer from the next just by the voice. If you closed your eyes, you'd be able to hear the difference when they switch from one to the next, which is not always the case with girl bands. We've got to say this. There's a lot where you can't do that. So it was nice to hear individuality in their vocal performances. Like I said, I love the production. Writing was, you know, it was better in the verses than anywhere else. However, it certainly pulled off being a good song, and it didn't outstay its welcome. It was short, sharp, concise. It was just a sort of good length of song. So for me, this was an easy one to enjoy. As I say, the only downside, I wish that they'd maybe spent a bit of time and found a chorus that just maybe drilled in a bit more memorably, but you know, it's a small complaint to ask every pop song to be all about the chorus. You know, in a way, we've got to say a pop song that achieves a really good build-up and a really good verse, that's probably even more impressive than a good chorus. Just a shame that often doesn't make it as memorable as a good chorus. Still, like I say, I come away from this thinking that was a definite success, and it certainly got me more fired up to listen to more of this group. I'm interested by them now. And yeah, the video as well, like I say, had a nice sort of cheeky quality. It kind of matched the mood, and it also reminds you of why they are of a similar ilk to the sort of Nakata Yasutaka artists. Anyway, so yeah, like I say, I enjoyed this and definitely got me interested in listening to more. So as always, guys, if you know the artists, feel free to give me suggestions, but whether you know them or not, get in there and tell me what you think. I want to see the comments, the subjective points of view. If you want to do more talking about music, we have our other social medias linked in the description below. You can like and subscribe if you want to do the YouTube things. Good for the channel, good for the channel. And as always, a massive thank you to our patrons, really, for keeping everything alive and going. You wouldn't believe how much of this equipment, posters, all of this stuff, even the coffee that I drink to keep me going, is possible because of you guys. So massive thank you to you guys, and thanks for anyway making it through to the end of this video, and until I hopefully see you in Japan soon for the next one, for now, ciao ciao.